The Battle of Badr, Ghazwa Badr, fought in 624 CE, holds a special place in Islamic history as one of the first and most significant battles in the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the early Muslim community. It was a turning point that not only marked a victory for the Muslims but also solidified their position in the Arabian Peninsula. The battle took place near the Well of Badr, about 80 miles south of Medina, and was fought between the Muslims, who numbered around 313, and the Quraysh of Mecca, who had assembled an army of around 1,000 soldiers, equipped with horses, armor, and camels. The roots of the Battle of Badr lay in the growing tension between the Muslims of Medina and the Quraysh of Mecca, who had been hostile to the Prophet Muhammad and his followers from the beginning. After the Muslims were forced to migrate from Mecca to Medina in 622 CE, the Quraysh began to see the growing Muslim community as a threat to their economic and political power. The Prophet Muhammad, on the other hand, sought to defend the newly established Muslim state and protect his followers from the ongoing persecution. A series of skirmishes and tensions between the two groups followed, and by early 624 CE, the Quraysh set out to intercept a Muslim caravan headed toward Syria, which was a source of income for the Meccan merchants. When the Prophet Muhammad received word of the caravan's route, he decided to intercept it, hoping to weaken the Quraysh economically. However, the Quraysh, led by Abu Sufyan, had already received news of the Muslims' intentions and sent a large military force to protect the caravan. As a result, the Muslim forces, initially planning to capture the caravan, found themselves facing a full-scale battle. The Muslims, although outnumbered and under-equipped, set out to confront the Quraysh at Badr. Despite being greatly outnumbered, the Muslims were filled with resolve and faith in Allah. They knew that this was a test not only of their strength but also of their belief and trust in God's support. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, led his troops with exceptional leadership, offering prayers and encouraging his companions to remain steadfast. He made a heartfelt supplication, asking Allah for victory, as he knew the outcome of the battle would greatly impact the future of the Muslim community. The battle began with a series of challenges between individual warriors, as was the custom at the time. 3 Muslim champions, Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Ubaydah ibn al-Harith, faced off against the Quraysh champions. After a tense exchange, the Muslims emerged victorious, which boosted their morale and encouraged them to fight with even greater determination. The actual battle began with the exchange of arrows and progressed into a full-fledged confrontation. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Muslims fought with unparalleled courage and unity. The Quraysh, whose soldiers were experienced in battle, found themselves unable to break through the Muslim lines. The Muslims, under the guidance of Prophet Muhammad, held firm and displayed extraordinary resilience, even in the face of overwhelming odds. A decisive turning point in the battle came when the Quraysh, realizing they were being defeated, began to retreat. The Muslims, driven by their faith, pursued the fleeing enemy, ensuring that the victory was secure. The Quraysh forces were shattered, with many of their key leaders killed, including Abu Jahl, one of their most formidable opponents and the staunchest enemy of Islam. The Muslims, on the other hand, lost only 14 of their men, and their morale was greatly lifted by the victory. The victory at Badr had profound implications for both the Muslims and the Quraysh. For the Muslims, it was a divine affirmation of their faith and the righteousness of their cause. It strengthened their position in Medina and gave them a sense of confidence and unity. Prophet Muhammad and his companions were seen as legitimate forces, not just spiritually but politically and militarily. The victory also had a powerful impact on the spread of Islam, attracting more followers and supporters to the cause. For the Quraysh, the defeat at Badr was devastating. They had suffered heavy casualties, and the loss was a significant blow to their prestige and power. The defeat forced them to reevaluate their approach toward the Muslims and led to a series of retaliatory actions, including the Battle of Uhud the following year. However, despite their loss, the Quraysh remained determined to eradicate the Muslim threat, setting the stage for further confrontations. The aftermath of the battle was marked by the Muslims' sense of gratitude toward Allah. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, attributed the victory to Allah's mercy and guidance, acknowledging that the Muslims' success was not due to their military prowess but because of their trust in God's help. The Prophet offered prayers of thanksgiving, and the Muslims were reminded of the importance of faith, unity, and perseverance. The battle also brought a shift in the way the Muslims were viewed by the Arab tribes. Many tribes began to see the Muslims as a growing power, and some sought alliances with them. The Quraysh, on the other hand, realized that the Muslims could no longer be ignored or dismissed as a small, marginal group. The Battle of Badr was more than just a military engagement, it was a moment that defined the future of the Muslim community. It proved that with faith in Allah and unity among believers, even the most challenging obstacles could be overcome. The victory inspired the early Muslims to remain steadfast in their beliefs, knowing that the success of their cause was not dependent on numbers or worldly strength but on their reliance on Allah's support. If you like this story and want to learn more about Islamic history and other important events, don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you insightful content that deepens your understanding of history.